What is going on, everybody? Today, I thought we'd get a little bit of a feel of how people are feeling about the college basketball season coming up. We're on Reddit, browsing r/college basketball today. Just a quick short video. If you do enjoy this type of content, please like and subscribe. And yeah, let's get straight into it. First post of the day. Cincinnati guard Jizzle James has been dismissed from Cincinnati due to personal reasons. Uh, it's an odd thing to happen this late into the off season. Obviously, we hope Jizzle James is doing okay. For Cincinnati themselves, Wes Miller is frankly on the hot seat. He's disappointed the last couple of years at Cincinnati. Last year, I thought it was finally going to be the year he achieved with any sort of talent, and he flopped again. Cincinnati was not good at all. This year, I don't think his team is quite as good. Losing Jizzle James definitely hurts. I would like Wes Miller to bounce back and bring Cincinnati back into the tournament, but it's looking rough for them right now. Next up, UConn's 2025-2026 non-con schedule has been revealed. We have 2 exhibition games against Boston College and Michigan State. Start the season against New Haven, UMass, Lowell, Columbia. Those should be 3 easy wins. But UConn actually doesn't have a super easy schedule this season like they did last year. The only thing I do have to mention, though, is the neutral games against Illinois and Florida are essentially semi-home games. They're at Madison Square Garden. The game against BYU is going to be amazing at Kansas. UConn is definitely a level above Kansas, but at Allen Fieldhouse, it could definitely cause them some problems. They'll start 3-0 here. I think they can beat Arizona at home. I think they can win both of these games at the Garden. So that's 6-0. They'll beat Bryant, East Texas A&M. 8-0. I think they can beat Texas at home. 9-0. BYU and Kansas. At Kansas versus BYU, I think they'll lose one of those games and finish non-con 10-1. Very good. I think UConn is going to have a revenge season. They have solo ball still, brought in Silas Damari from Georgia. They still have Alex Caravan, veteran leadership right there. They brought in Eric Ryby, Braylon Mullins, a star freshman. Dan Hurley, still one of the best coaches in the game. Obviously, UConn is going to be very good again. Next up is another non-con schedule. This time it's Alabama. They notoriously schedule tough in the non-con. They start with North Dakota. Easy win right there. But then they play at St. John's. Tough game. Against Purdue at home. Tough game. At Illinois. Tough game. They play neutral against Gonzaga, UNLV, whoever else is in the Players era. They play at home against Clemson. They play neutral against Arizona. South Florida, Kennesaw State, and Yale will hopefully be 3 easy wins to the schedule. But obviously, it's Alabama NATO. They schedule very tough. I think Alabama has a slightly worse roster maybe, but with development from Holloway, Philon, and Wrightsell, they could actually have an elite guard trio. Just a little bit worried down low, even though they could still cause some trouble. I really thought Cliff was going to make a big jump last year, but he didn't. He's off the team and graduated now. I think they'll beat North Dakota. They might split St. John's and Purdue. At Illinois is tough. They could go 1-2 here. But they beat Gonzaga, UNLV. I think they'll lose in the Players Era final. They will beat Clemson. They'll beat UTSA. I think Arizona's kind of a 50-50 game, neutral site. I'll give it to Arizona, and then they'll beat South Florida. They'll beat Kennesaw State, and home against Yale. Yale is really good as an Ivy League team, but I will choose Alabama at home in that game. If that was a neutral or an away game, I might go with Yale right there for a sneaky upset right before SEC play starts. So anyways, I have Alabama starting 1-0. We'll split St. John's and Purdue. So 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 4-2, 4-3, 5-3, 6-3, 6-4, 7-4, 8-4, 9-4. So I have Alabama starting their non-con 9-4, which doesn't sound too great, but considering the strength of schedule, Alabama always plays a tough schedule. The selection committee knows that. This will be a very valuable schedule, and they'll have some really nice wins on here, I think. Next up, we have some 2025-26 preseason rankings. These will be very interesting. We won't read the breakdown. Let's just get right into the rankings. Tier 1 title contenders, UConn and St. John's. I don't know if I'm ready to put St. John's in a title contender yet. I think they brought in a great transfer class, but there's still some questions. Hopefully Ian Jackson can make a leap. Bryce Harper needs to stay healthy for once. He's barely played in the last 2 years. Rick Pitino, obviously a great coach. St. John's is probably maybe even in between UConn and Creighton. I don't know if I'd necessarily say they're at Creighton's level, but still a very good team. I would definitely have UConn as a favorite in this conference, though, and as the most likely to win a title. And then I'd go St. John's. And then I'd go Creighton at third. That's good. On the bubble, Marquette definitely lost a lot. Shaka Smart, he's not bringing in a ton of talent outside of his system. Marquette's going to be on the bubble. I don't like them this year that much. Providence, hopefully, on the uptrend. I think they could be a bubble team. Villanova, definitely an interesting team. Brought in some pieces. New coach, Kevin Willard. They will hopefully be on the bubble too. Tier 4, Georgetown, Xavier. Georgetown's moving up a little bit. Xavier stuck in mid again. Basement, DePaul. Yeah, Chris Holtman. I mean, DePaul's a really rough program to take over. Maybe you can sneak out a couple more wins and bring the program a little bit more up. Butler's kind of had a little bit of a fall off recently. Seton Hall's funding is just not there. It's not looking good for Seton Hall at all. Projected tournament bids for, I think UConn, St. John's, and Creighton are locks, and they'll probably sneak in one more out of these three. Maybe Georgetown or Xavier, or maybe even DePaul surprises. Yeah, 4 is pretty fair. All Big East first team, Ian Jackson. That's very interesting. Hubert Davis might have not tapped into his potential all the way. I don't know if I would say Ian Jackson is first team immediately. Maybe he's like third team. But the rest of the first team is Solo Ball, Alex Caravan, Zuby Ejiofor, and Owen Freeman. Makes complete sense. Coach of the year, Greg McDermott. Greg McDermott is an amazing coach. Definitely you've Rick Pitino and Dan Hurley in there too. Chris Holtman, if he surprises, definitely could be up there. Zuby Ejiofor is player of the year. That's fair. Freshman of the year, Braylon Mullins. I completely agree with. He's going to be one of the best shooters in the country, especially for a freshman. He's going to be a great piece for UConn. Here's an interesting post. Make the case for your team mid-August preseason tier list. Let's see what people are arguing for their teams. The preliminary tiers, no particular order, UConn, Houston, Florida, and Purdue in Tier 2 is interesting. I'm okay with that. They definitely need to improve on their 2-point defense and depth, but I think they definitely could have addressed those issues and be at Tier 1 right now. St. John's, as I said earlier, would probably be the bottom of Tier 2, maybe top of Tier 3. Still around top 10 though. I don't know if I'd necessarily call them top 4 or title contender immediately. Let's get into some of these people's opinions. San Diego State consistently builds teams that fly under the radar and end up being better than the sum of its parts. Dutcher knows how to utilize bench depth really well. Yeah, San Diego State is going to be a little bit scary. They aren't being talked about. They've been a really good program out of the Mountain West recently. Reese Waters, they got Magungwath back, Miles Bird. They are going to be a little sneaky. I believe they are an 11th seed in ESPN's bracketology. They could win the Mountain West and go up to like 7, 8 seed maybe. I like San Diego State. Purdue is returning the best point guard in the country. That is true. One of 2 All-Americans coming back. True. Biggest issues were rim protection and rebounding. 7-footer went down for the season second week. Jacobson could definitely bounce back, be a force in the paint. He's a little slim. Hopefully, he can be a little bit more physical. But he can definitely provide some good rim protection and rebounding. He's also needs to work on a little bit of quickness too, maybe. Freshman international guard Omar Mayer could be a lottery prospect. He definitely has the potential to get there. I wouldn't call him a lottery prospect just yet. Transfer led the nation in rebounding last year. Yes, in the Summit Conference, Oscar Clough is a great rebounder, pretty good defender. I think Purdue, like I said, definitely brought in some pieces to hopefully fix their issues from last year. They could definitely be a tier 1 team. And yes, it's good to mention that they were super close to beating Houston last March. Yeah, Purdue, definitely one of the top teams. They definitely made their case. Arizona fan starts off with Bryce James. Not going to do it for me. But he actually does make a really good case. The best freshman that's not Debanza, Peterson, or Boozer, I'm assuming that's Koa Pete. Koa Pete is very good. He is very developed, very physical. He's very smart. He knows where to be. He'll get some easy buckets. He's a very good player. His ceiling might not be the highest, but man, he is going to be really good immediately. I love Koa Pete. And they are bringing in Braden Burries. They still have Jaden Bradley. I like Arizona. They're definitely going to be around a top 10 team for me. Again, too. Where is Arizona at here? Arizona is down in tier 4, which is interesting. Same thing with Louisville. I would probably have both of them up in tier 3, I would say. Maybe the bottom of tier 2. Bottom tier 2, top of tier 3. They're a little underrated in these tiers, but Arizona's going to be really good. They're going to be inexperienced, but Tommy Lloyd is a good coach. I think he gets a little bit too much hate. Still a great coach. I like Arizona this year. Last post of the video, any good sleeper teams for this year? I'm in a fantasy league where I have to draft teams, so I'd love to get an idea of different sleeper teams in these tiers. Tier 1, sleepers that can win the title, sleepers that can make a run in the tournament. Okay, let's see what people are saying. Top ranked teams that I think are underrated title contenders. Duke, definitely. Inexperienced a little bit. Would have liked Tyrese Proctor to return. If Tyrese Proctor came back, Duke might be my number 1 team. But with the Boozer twins, they definitely have the talent. John Shire is a great coach. Just waiting to get over that final hump. I like Duke. If you want the ultimate gamble of a mystery sleeper, look no further than IU. Yeah. Darian DeVries, obviously, we just played in Puerto Rico. Had 2 crazy comebacks. Obviously, good to see that we're coming back, playing tough, fighting. That shows a little bit of culture, which is something IU has not been used to recently. But we don't want to be down 20 points against a Puerto Rican and Serbian team. Not too great of a look right there. Lamar Wilkerson needs to lock in a little bit. Shot a little inefficiently. I think we can get the shooting up a little bit, though. Be mid to high 30%, which, I mean, doesn't sound amazing for anyone at a top tier program, but it's way better than where IU's been at recently. We are a little weak at the center spot. Reed Bailey, 6'11". He's good. He's a little bit of a stretch player. Not super physical down low. Sam Alexis, 6'8", very good. Championship reign. He's going to bring some good leadership. He's a little undersized, though. Tucker DeVries, not big. He's more of a 3 or 4. Yeah, also, Nick Dorn and Trent Sisley, they're both 4s probably. So we don't really have a great rim protector. We could get bullied a little bit by Purdue, by Michigan in the Big Ten. Sleeper team, though, I do like this, though, because we were being picked in like 10th, 11th, 12th in the Big Ten. I mean, last year was a train wreck, but we still went 19-13. Pretty good team, record-wise, and we still finished around 500 in the Big Ten, which isn't great, but man, we were not that bad for having as disastrous of a season as that was. I don't know if it can really get too much worse than that. DeVries, he's going to get his players to play well. We're finally going to have some effort on defense. Offense, I'm a little concerned about, but we can also shoot the ball, finally. I think we might actually have a point guard. Tatum Connerway at Troy, amazing, plays both sides. He was Sunbelt Tournament MVP, Sunbelt Player of the Year. led the entire country in steals. Amazing passer. He doesn't shoot a ton, but he's going to be able to do everything else on the court. This Purdue fan says he agrees literally, any number of ways. Yeah, I'm not going to have us top 25. I'm not going to have us like top 5 in the Big Ten. But if we get like 8th or 9th in the Big Ten, that should be enough to get us into the tournament, which is better than where we've been at recently. Definitely like us this season. We're flying under the radar. No pressure on us outside of the fans themselves. I like IU. I like where we're at right now. But what do you guys think? Was there anything that I said in this video that sounds insane? What do you agree with? Comment down below. I'll be trying to respond to as many people who comment as possible. And yeah, thanks for watching. Whoop!